not doing that work. Yay. So anyway, so this is Rodney's, and I wanted to show you, yes, because of the preview of what we'll do next week. She did not draw all of these ruffles. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. Oh, hold on a second. I don't, so if I were to just see the lines, do you see there's only a line there? But then when I take it out of the outline preview, I see there are brushes there, correct? This is a brush, guys. So in other words, you know how you start sketching from scratch and you have to draw every little ruffle and every little stitch? With Illustrator, you can create brushes, so it just does it for you. And it even has the gathering too. So this will be a preview of what is to come. This is and the inside is created by stroke, meaning we have right now, we're used to seeing our stroke as a dash. I'm going to show you right now. We're used to seeing this, correct? But if you change your line, the weight of it, let's just say we do 16, weight is the width, and we do the dash by 1 times 1. You notice that? I created already those rib lines. That's one way to do it. And then why am I showing you this? We're getting to the point that pens, tools, and those kinds of things right now are not only for one purpose. It became and by the way, even if you see this, you see there's only one line there. You see the difference? What you're previewing is a whole bunch of dash lines. What I see is this. So hopefully by next week, so the idea is that by next week, I'm going to teach you how to do brushes, not that complicated brushes, just a basic zipper brush. Don't worry. So you can use it for your midterm, and that's it. I only want one brush, and that's on the it's in Brightspace too. Okay. Overall, this can also go to layouts. So let me see. Layouts. So that's what I want you to see. Now, for the other things is, is Sophia here? Sophia? No, okay, perfect. So then another thing, oh, this is one I wanted to show you for sure. This one. This is Elizabeth. She went beyond. Good job, Elizabeth, by the way. So then everything's in layer. The only thing that I did ask her is like, just be careful how you're working with layers because everything's together. So it's hard for me to separate it. Now, I do know that things are locked because I was not able to select it, so I take it out. One thing about these type of things, guys, is, do you notice when I select, I'm also selecting the guidelines? Yes? Okay. So when that happens is because your guideline is not locked. So the way to lock it is you go to view, you go to guides, and you put you can either even hide your guidelines or interesting. Where's my lock guidelines? Clear. Make guidelines. Usually you can lock it, but I don't know why it's not locking. Either way, you can even if you still want your guidelines, and let's just say you want to see everything without a guideline, correct? You can hide it. You see that? And then you can go back and your guidelines will still be there. Show guides. This is one thing to show it. So just be careful. So I've noticed some of you might not have had a perfect symmetrical drawing because maybe when you were reflecting, you copied the guideline too and you moved it. Okay, so why am I showing you this one? And if you don't want that guideline, that you select it. I just press shift and select this again. That's it. And that's how I deselect it without deselecting the rest. Hold on a second. Why is my... I don't know. She's being a little funky, my illustrator. Sometimes it gets like this. So the other part too, when it has that many gores, correct, we can actually go and start doing flares. Don't be scared. Not everything needs to be straight. Oh. Oh, this is one illustrator I wanted to show you guys. It took a while to download. I don't know if you've ever seen a layout. So in going back to this, all of this is, look at this. You see all of that? All of that is brushes. And all of it is scaled to size. So in fashion design, back in the day, you used to draw it by hand. And you had to fax it. And even then, I didn't get to fax things. And before that, things were usually taking Polaroids, and that's how they send the comments, with Polaroids. So we're just talking about brushes right now, the preview. All of this is done by brushes. So if you see that, it's only one line. Yeah, so that will do, not this, but we'll do a simple brush next week, and then the rest of the class will be you doing whatever you need to do. You can catch up if you want to. I think everyone saw my email about the homework. You have up to 3:18 to do whatever makeup of the homework. After that, I'm not receiving anything. I think I'll be more than fair, guys. I'm giving you even the spring break to do it. Okay, after that, I'm not even gonna, I don't wanna see it. Don't even bother, okay? So this is another thing. All of this is also brushes too. Well, some of it is actually, like if I were to do this, you see the difference? Brushes. Where did it go? Where did it go? So in fashion, that's how you send a layout. For those who are not graduating this spring, we'll have a part 2 in spring 2025. And we'll get to do layouts, but not this one. And I feel like I had a better one than this. Hold on a second. Oh, here's another one. Ooh. I downloaded a few that I did in the past really quickly. So you can see just the preview of next week and what we're gonna be accomplishing. All of these were layouts. So this is why I tell you, at least my draping class, to know what they're doing with measurements, because this is the neckline, and we send the factory measurements, specific measurements. How the factory is gonna know where to put it if you don't give them specific measurements. This is why. So all of this was done by, all of this is one continuous strip. And it has to be like that because this is called soutache. This is a technique where the machine just takes the trim and they just sew it around nonstop. And they follow it. So everything's automated. So there you go, that's one. Then there's another one too. All of this is between fills. You see that? Fills, brushes. So you see this mesh? I didn't draw that mesh. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay. No, the squiggly lines I did draw. That was embroidery. So I don't know why it doesn't. Oh, here you go. Here you go. It's okay. So these lines right here, those are soutache. Inside is also embroidery. Then it becomes more technical because the thing with soutache is that since it's ribbon, this little, you see that little mesh? All of that is fill. And we'll do a repeat, not right now, that will be after spring break. It doesn't have to be this complex, it can be a stripe. You guys get to choose what you guys wanna do. But I just wanted to show you, I can't find, even the rhinestones are brushes, by the way. You see that brush? I didn't draw those. I mean, I drew it once, and then I just applied it. No one does everything one by one. Some people do layouts by Photoshop, but only when it's very specific, meaning they want to see the jewels really specific. The people that might use it more like more expensive houses, especially for embroidery, because embroidery gets very tricky. So then, okay, so we're going back to the skirt. I was just saying you can wave your little hem. It doesn't have to be perfect. So all of this section is just pointers that we can do to better our homework. A lot of you, just so you guys see, this is the shirt. I don't know if she's here. Oh yeah, Maria Sophia? No, she's not. Okay, okay. So everything's layered correctly. The shadows are multiplied. You see that? That's why it's blended into that blue. My only issue is, you see that little peak here? It's distracting me. So what you do is, you can choose the edge of your stroke. So if you go to stroke, you can choose, you see how it says round cap, round joint, miter, bevel, which is this one. You see that difference? Look. Now you can choose that. I particularly like the rounded edge. That makes me happy. The other thing that I wanted to show you, because Sophia Maria is a little more advanced, she did a brush. Well, I helped her do a brush with the double stitch. It's only one line. So that means that this is two lines, but it's one line. Does that make sense? Because look, I can stand it and still one. I can do this and it's still one. So that will be the step. So now you understand why we just started with the basics. Okay? And that's okay. We're gonna do our best. At the end of the day, your presentation just needs to be a presentation. You're just gonna try your best with the tools that you know or that you feel comfortable with. I am gonna be looking for symmetry, meaning I want this left side to look at the right side if it's symmetrical. You understand? You don't need to draw a whole thing now. I have shown you in class how to use the reflect tool, which we already seen here. Reflect is under rotate tool, and that's it. Okay? Okay. Then we have other ones that I don't know if I can, yeah, so this one's a good one. This one had sharing. I'll discuss this, how to do those strokes later. This is Milo's as well. You can try with proportions. So for example, this one, Crystal, yeah, this is Crystal. You can, let me open it up so you guys. A reminder that you don't have to make everything, even if you have not necessarily such a great edge. You see how rounded that is? Just take it in. Use your direct select tool and bring it in. Just take out that curve. Doesn't that look better already? You can go back to things. You understand? Before you reflect it. So I want you to, these are your friends. Select tool and direct select tool. I'm not gonna get to pencil today. That's another thing. When we have a 1-2, we're not doing that today. We're gonna do it after the break once we get into more of a pattern thing. Okay. So then we have here. This is Benzie, this is a good one too. You see, multiply, same thing. So, and I think some of you notice that I can notice everything within a file. Yeah. That I make little comments. You know why? Because essentially you're in preview mode. You see that? But if I want outlines, I just check everything that way. And I can zoom in and see exactly how you build it or not. And I can see also, another thing that you can see with Illustrator is, you see the layers right here? There's one layer. If there's a little arrow, has anyone clicked on that arrow? It shows you exactly how everything's grouped. I can see how you build this from scratch. That's why if anyone's using an iPad, that's fine, but use Adobe. You have access to Adobe because of school. Some of you, I think, are using other apps. This class and those apps are not the same, okay? So you can use an iPad if you want to. Yes, FYI, the iPad view is not the same as my Mac or even PC. The PC and the Mac are very similar. It's just aesthetics at that point. But I need you to keep that in mind because some of you are running into problems using iPads because you don't see all the tools. The tools are behind, they don't have all these tools, first of all. They're behind. So just make sure you just looking in the correct place. That's all. Okay? I feel like whatever works, but just give me, you need to use Adobe. If it's Adobe app or Adobe in PC, or even in the school, whichever. But it needs to be Adobe. Okay. So now, I'm gonna start.